At any rate, so I'm back out at the well. And I'm still aggravated because I'm still working on that smelly water. Now, somebody sent me some comments on my water heater debacle, where I put a powered anode in there. And he was telling me that the water heater has to be above 130 degrees, otherwise it will not kill the bacteria. And I checked, and mine was set to about 110. So I went and turned up the water heater and waited a while, and then ran water in the kitchen sink and used a device to tell how hot it was, and I had it up to about 135 degrees. So probably more than 135 in the water heater. So that was step one. The second step was to sanitize your well, something I've never done the entire time I've lived here. And that's basically where you just pour bleach in your well and you wait a while. Real educated there, isn't it? But believe it or not, turning up the water heater seemed to help some. The only problem is now it's so damn hot you can't take a shower without having cold water on. So maybe it helped. Maybe it killed all the bacteria in the hot water, but now I'm mixing it with cold water because it's so hot I can't take a shower in it. And, well, long story short, blah, blah, blah. So let's get back to the well. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm sanitizing it. And what you do is you basically just pour bleach in the well. And that's what I'm going to do.
Well, I'm Ben, and thanks for tuning in to the DIY Homefront channel. Well, before I sanitize the well, let's backtrack and I'll show you how I checked the temperature of the water in the water heater and then adjusted it. I'm going to start by using a tool that you can aim at a surface and it'll tell you how hot that surface is. It's a really neat little gizmo. So right now I've got it pointed at the water coming out of the faucet. Eventually the temperature will stop rising, and I can be pretty sure that's almost the same temperature as the water inside of the water heater. Well, the water temperature has stopped rising and it's below 130 degrees. So let's go to the water heater and adjust that temperature up. I have an electric water heater, and that's what we're going to adjust the temperature on. I'm not sure how you would adjust the temperature on a propane or gas water heater. Most electric water heaters are designed the same way. Whether they have one or two heater elements, normally there's only one place that you're going to be able to adjust the temperature inside the water tank. And you can see after I removed the top cover, the temperature control device is right here. I just need a flathead screwdriver. The temperature is set a little bit above 120 degrees, even though at the kitchen faucet we only had 113 degrees. So I'm going to adjust it to right around 140 degrees and see if we get 130 degrees in the kitchen. And once again, our goal here is to eliminate things that might be causing this smelly water. So you could have sulfur actually in the water, and the sulfur causes bad smells, or apparently there's some types of bacteria that could be in the water. And from what I understand, if there's bacteria in the water heater, if it's set above 130 degrees, it should kill that bacteria that could be causing the smell. And now the temperature of our hot water in the house is above 130 degrees, so that should eliminate that as a possible cause. So let's get back outside and continue talking about how to sanitize your well.
So I've got a plastic funnel shoved into the spot where the wires go in. And I am just going to pour bleach. Pour bleach straight into the well.
I watched several YouTube videos on how to do this, and they had some great metrics on how you're supposed to figure out how much bleach to put into the well. And the formula they used was the diameter of the pipe times the distance to the bottom of the well gives you the amount of water that could potentially be in it, and that told you how much bleach to put in to bleach that much water. I had attempted to follow those guidelines, but then I ran out of the appropriate amount of bleach, and when I went to the store, they only had concentrated bleach, so it went haywire quick. So long story short, I put all the bleach I had on hand in the well. I figured it was better to have too much bleach in the system than not enough to kill the bacteria. Okay, moving on. You put all the bleach into the well, but you put it above the pump if you pour it down that pipe. And you want to circulate all that bleach through the bottom of the well. And there's really only one way to do that. Take a hose that's connected to your well, turn the water on at a low volume, and take that water and pour it back into the wellhead. After a brief period of time, you should end up smelling bleach coming out of the top of the hose, which means you have now mixed up or circulated all that bleach through the water that's in the bottom of the well and in the well shaft. Once you've done that, you can move on to the next step. This was filmed April the 9th, 2023.
All right, it's a little chilly out, and it's been like 36 hours since I put bleach in the well. It got dark that evening, so I decided to get done what I needed to get done, and I didn't film anything. So I'm going to show you what I did right now. So I've got a hose bib there. I think that's what we call the faucets. So I got a hose faucet there, a hose faucet here. We've got a sink with water running in the greenhouse. And way out there in between the gate to the garden is another faucet. So you put the chlorine in the well, you turn the water on. And I overdid it. You can really smell the chlorine. But I could tell there was chlorine in the water because the water bubbles. If there wasn't any chlorine in the water, you wouldn't have that soapy bubble on top. So I took this bucket and I went to every faucet outside, every spigot. So I did every spigot, like the one on the back of the garage, and the two that are by the back deck, and the one that's on the back of the house, and the one in the front of the house. So in short, every place I've got water, I did this until I could smell some bleach. Flushed the toilets a half a dozen times, filled up some of the bathtubs with some water, ran it in the kitchen and the bathrooms. So every place I could smell bleach. And that's been 36 hours. Now we just run the water till we don't smell bleach anymore. For me, it won't be that bad. I'll hook a hose up out here to this and run the water until I don't smell any bleach. And that means I won't be running all this water through the house and everywhere else. And I'll make sure I get all the bleach out. And then once that's done, I'll go back in the house and the faucets on the outside of the house and everywhere and turn the water on. So back to my smelly water problem. It's one thing to have sulfur in your water that you can aerate out because it's a gas. But if it's bacteria that's causing your water to smell, that's not going to happen by just splashing it. And that's what one of my comments said. One of my comments said you need to sanitize your well. And not that I do or don't believe them. It's just I've tried everything else 5 times over. Why not try this, right? So I thought to myself, what's the worst that could happen? You spend a little bit more time and a few more dollars and you have the same problem. And the best that could happen is that might have been the problem all along and it's fixed. So let's start draining this water out and we'll see where we're at. Okay, the water hasn't really been running that long, only about maybe 10 minutes. And you can see most of it's pretty much gone. There's a slight smell of Clorox, but nothing bad. So I know it's my first time doing this, but I think I'm done with the well. I'll start running water out of all the spigots, and I'm still going to be pulling water from the well, so I'm still going to be draining more water or more Clorox out of the well.
Really, we're just going in reverse. We added bleach to the well and ran water till we could smell it. Now we're running water till we don't smell bleach anymore at each one of these different spigots. My nose sort of stopped working after a while, so I just went by if there was bubbles in the bucket or not. It took me about 45 minutes to go to all these spigots and get it done. And here we are on the last one. And like I said, When I put the bucket under it and looked in the bucket, it wasn't all bubbly or anything, so I knew that the bleach was gone.
It's still a little cloudy, which means it's still got some chlorine in it.
Once done outside, I had to do the same thing inside. I ran the water in the sinks and in the bathtub, ran the showers, flushed the toilets, got the kitchen sink, and waited for the Clorox smell to go away.
All right, it's been about 6 weeks since we sanitized the well and changed the temperature in the water heater, and I wanted to give you that update. In the past, I had always got a little bit excited and announced right then and there that it worked just to be defeated. So I thought I'd give it some time. And it's been 6 weeks, and the answer is we still have smelly water. It did not work. Probably for the first 4 weeks, we were on cloud 9 because there was no sulfur smell or bad odor to the water. If it had any smell at all, it was almost like you had gone to a pool and you had the chlorine kind of smell. There was just a hint of chlorine, but nothing bad, no stinky smell. And then it slowly got worse. It's not nearly as noticeable in the shower, so I think doing that to the hot water heater helped. Maybe not fixed it, but helped. And I'm not sure if it's just because of the volume of water we go through in this house. I just don't know. If you've got any ideas, leave me a comment or tell me why I'm an idiot or why I'm smart or what to do next. I go back and I think about it, and I think I did everything right. You sanitize the well by putting bleach in it. You run the water through all the lines outside and in the house, so that way you end up with chlorinated water in all your water lines and water pipes. You wait about 24 hours, so that way any kind of bacteria that might be in any of the water lines is killed, and then you flush the system out. And that's what I did. We put the bleach in the well. We ran it through all the outside spigots. We ran it through the house. We flushed the toilets. We waited about 36 hours, and then we flushed everything out of the pipes by just letting the water run. I am not sure what to try next. For the first 4 weeks, I thought I had the problem licked, and for the last 2 weeks, I've been just slowly getting more depressed about it. My first thought might be to totally replace the system that's outside, mainly because the new one has an app that you can use on your phone, and it tells you so much more information. How much water are you using? You can program the flushes. It's like everything else. It's computer driven and app driven, and it has a whole lot more features than the one that we bought 10 years ago. I don't know if that would solve the problem, but it sure would make me happier. So if you've got any ideas that you want to see me try to my continuing problem with the smelly water, leave me a comment. Let me know, and I promise you I will try it. Well, until the next time, this has been. Like, subscribe, check out those playlists, and for all of you that have subscribed, thank you very much. And for those of you that haven't, please think about it. And I'll see you in another video.